The eThekwini Municipality reassuring residents that power will be restored by midday today. Parts of the metro were plunged into darkness last night after an explosion at the Klaarwater substation in Durban.
Yeah, the city has urged residents to switch off unnecessary appliances, including air conditioners, pool pumps and geysers, so that power can be restored without overload trips.
Problem actually we discovered later, just before we restored the power supply, that it happened at Shall Cross. There's a line that leaves Klaarwater to Shall Cross. It's a 132 kV line or a high voltage line. So that line actually, it tripped or snipped out of the tower and it fell on the ground. This line one. So that caused that explosion that was seen on the visual last night. So the power then went off. The entire, about 40% of eThekwini was affected. We lost about 600 megawatts of power at that particular time. So then we were able to restore the power supply after isolating that area to the entire areas, which was outside, every area in the western area outside Shall Cross. So we still kept Shall Cross off and the surrounding areas, but I want to believe that it's just been restored even now. We're busy restoring some of the areas that are still off at the moment in the same area through our low or medium voltage network. So we are restoring power supplies in the area at the moment, Michelle. It should be this morning. If it's not done last night or early morning of this morning of today, then it should be just this morning, just before 12 o'clock. We should be able to having everybody back on.
Let's get you the very latest on the story now. Bring in our reporter Karinda Jagmohan, who is live to us from the Klaarwater substation this morning. And Karinda, we're being told that power has been restored to most parts of Durban this morning. Is that the sense that you also got driving through the city?
Indeed, power has been restored to several suburbs, but like you just heard now, the area of Shall Cross, which is just opposite this Klaarwater substation, remains without power. My colleagues Pongiseni Kubande and I are outside the substation that essentially where a number of people saw the explosion last night. Now, we will, in about the next hour, look for another vantage point for you to be able to see where the explosion actually happened. This is the entrance to the substation. And of course, this is a major substation where the city receives its electricity supply from Eskom. Now, about 8:30 last night, a number of suburbs, essentially just over 40% of Durban, saw their lights started to flicker several times. And then following that, at about 8:30, there was an explosion, or people saw the explosion here, quite a large explosion with blue lights essentially coming from this area. Of course, like you heard now, the city is investigating the cause of this, but it is an important substation when you consider how many parts of eThekwini depends on the substation to ultimately receive their electricity. Now, what's also interesting, Ayanda, you'll see on social media discussions about how in the immediate aftermath of the explosion here, there were strong gale force winds across the city with a surge in temperatures. Now, it's not yet clarified whether the two are linked, but as we come across parts of Durban, we even saw trees uprooted, large trees, which shows you the impact of these gale force winds. Of course, at this stage, we're yet to see from experts whether the two are linked, whether this explosion here caused or manifested these gale force winds across the city. But at this point now, there are concerns of whether or not this will happen again and how the city plans to remedy the situation. Similar occurrences happened on Sunday evening where the lights were flickering for some time. The electricity was going on and off, and there were reports that a substation was affected. But all of this is yet to be confirmed. At this point, it's quite outside the Klaarwater substation, and we do expect, or just earlier we saw some trucks going in, so we do expect now the investigations, the repairs to get underway. And of course, in the next hour, we'll get you another vantage point and also show you some of the impact of the gale force winds that immediately followed this apparent explosion.
Karinda Jagmohan, live to us there from Durban in KwaZulu-Natal for that early morning update. Karinda, thanks very much indeed.